Here we're going to take a look at preparing a master budget. This assumes that you've already gone through the PowerPoint that went through the introduction to budgets. And so in that we learned that the master budget has an operating budget and a financial budget and a capital expenditures budget. In this slideshow, we'll mainly be looking at the operating budget. And then we have a separate videos on the financial budget that deals with the cash budget. And when we get into Chapter 12, we'll deal with the capital expenditures budget. Here is a picture from the previous PowerPoint show, showing, this is from your book, showing how all these different pieces of budgets are interrelated to each other. So here we're going to take a look at the operating budget, which includes the sales, the production budget, the direct materials, direct labor, and overhead budgets. And then we go to the ending finished goods budget, the cost of goods sold budget, and the selling and administrative expense budget. So, and again, here's a list of all the budgets that we're going to be taking a look at that I just named. And they have to be done in this order. Absolutely must do the sales budget first before every one of these is based on that. The production budget has to be done second, etc. Okay, so for the sales budget, we're going to determine how many units we expect to sell for each budget period, what sales price we expect to charge for those units. Since this affects the whole rest of all our budgets, we need to have excellent analysis and estimates, not just guesses. The sales budget can be much more complex if we have a large number of items than we manufacture and sell. So if you only sell one item, it's hard enough to figure out next year how many are we going to sell of that. Okay, and what sales price should we charge for it next year, as opposed to if you're Walmart and you have 5 million different items that you have to decide on every single one of those. Okay, so the difficulty with the sales budget is coming up with those numbers. How many units are we going to sell of each of our different products? That's the hard part, and that can take months, that can take huge amounts of time coming up with those numbers. Once you have those numbers, the actual preparation of the budget itself is very simple. Now on these slides, note that I don't have a regular heading, so normally we would have the name of the company, Texas Rex, and what is this? It's a sales budget. And then we would have the range of dates. It would say for the next year ending December 31st or whatever, of whatever year. Always will usually be doing this budget the year before. So maybe in the fall of the year before. Maybe even in the summer. Well ahead of time. All right, so Texas Rec, this is the one done in your book, so you can follow along if you're looking at your book, is divided into quarters. And some budgets are divided into months, so they'd have 12 months columns listed out, but Texas Rex is doing theirs in quarters, which is a 3-month period. And then they have their total column out to the side. So the sales budget is very simple once you have the numbers. The number of units to be sold, and then we multiply that by the average sales price we expect to sell them for, and that gives us the total sales that we're expecting to have next year. So here we have on the first quarter, we expect to sell 1,000 units at $10 each, so that would be $10,000 of sales, etc. for each quarter. And then we have the totals. So the total for the year next year of sales that Texas Rex expects is 57,000. Now we get to the production budget. Now the production budget also can be a little bit on the upfront, trying to figure out some numbers, but actually preparing the budget is also more complex than the sales budget. So here, the production budget, what it's telling us is how many do we need to make, as opposed to the sales budget says how many do we think we're going to sell. We're going to not make the exact amount that we think we're going to sell. If I think I'm going to sell 1,000 units for the first quarter of next year, I'm not going to make exactly 1,000 units during that quarter. Because what if we sell more? And even if we sold exactly 1,000, that means on March 31st, the end of the first quarter, we would sell our last one. And then all of a sudden we have nothing to sell for April 1st, because then April 1st we'll start making some more, but we won't have it ready to go on April 1st. So besides making enough to sell, we have to make enough for ending inventory, so we're ready to sell stuff on April 1st, or we're ready to sell stuff in case we sell more than we think we're going to sell. Okay, so we basically have a formula that we're going to use for the production budget. We're going to take the number of units to be sold, and that comes off the sales budget. And then we got to add the number of units we want to have in ending inventory. And those two together equals the total number of units we need to have for that period. Then it's true that we normally have some beginning inventory. We normally have some from last year that are already sitting on the shelf ready to sell for this period, and so we need to take the total number of units that we need to have and subtract the number of units we already have. That tells us how many we actually need to make. Okay, so here is an example. If Texas Rex has 180 shirts in the beginning finished goods inventory. So as of January 1st, there's already 180 shirts sitting in finished goods inventory. They want to make sure to have 20% of next quarter's budgeted shirts already made in the ending inventory. So if I go back, okay, the second quarter, we expect to sell 1,200 units. And I want, at the end of the first quarter, I want there to be 20% of those are already made and sitting there ready to sell. Okay? So the 1,200 that we expect to sell in the second quarter times 20% is 240 shirts that we want to be sitting in finished goods inventory by the end of March. Okay, and the sales budget showed that we expect to sell 1,000 shirts for the first quarter. So how many do we need to make in the first quarter? Well, we need to make the 1,000 that we expect to sell, plus the 240 that we want to have in ending inventory. That's the total we need. Would be 1,000 plus 240, that's 1,240. But we already have 180 ready to go on January 1st, so we don't have to remake those, so we can subtract those 180. And that gives us 1,060 shirts that we need to make in the first quarter. Okay, so once we've calculated out everything for each quarter, then we make our production budget. And again, the heading would be Texas Rex, and then production budget, and then for the next year and December 31st of whatever that year is. Okay. Now, we start out our first row with the number of units to be sold. This came from the sales budget, the 1,000 and the 1,200, etc. Then we are going to add the ending inventory that we want to have, which is 20% times next period sales. So the 1,200 times 20% gives us the 240. 1,500 times 20% gives us the 300. 2,000 times 20% gives us 400. And we'd have to know the first quarter of next year times 20% to get this 200 number. Okay, now I add the amount of units that I plan to sell plus the amount of units that are in the ending inventory that I want to have. And so that's 1,240. This is the total number of units that I need to make sure are, available. 1,240 for the first quarter, 1,500 for the second quarter, etc. Then I'm going to subtract out what I already have, which is in the beginning inventory. Now, in January 1st, my beginning inventory had to be told at 180 shirts. So now I'm going to take the amount that I need, 1,240, minus the 180 that I already have, means I have to make 1,060 shirts in the first quarter. Now, in the second quarter, we have a total of 1,500 that we need of shirts. And how many do we already have in the beginning inventory? Well, the ending inventory of the first quarter is the beginning inventory of the second quarter. So that's the 240. 1,500 minus 240 means I will need to make 1,260 shirts in the second quarter. And the ending inventory of the second quarter becomes the beginning inventory of the third quarter, etc. Now, when we're looking at the total column, the ending inventory that we want to have, it means at the end of the year. This total line is for the whole year. So what do we want to have in ending inventory of the whole year? So that's going to be the same number as the end of the fourth quarter. Okay, and how many did we have in the beginning inventory means the beginning of the whole year, which is the beginning of the first quarter. So that's where that number comes from. Okay, so here's our total number of units we're going to sell, 5,700. Then we add the 200. We want an ending inventory. That's 5,900 shirts that we need total for the year, minus the 180 that we had in January 1st. And that tells us that we need to make 5,720 shirts during the year. And of course, if you add across these totals for the 4 quarters, they should also add up to the 5,720. They should